They said Gray paved the way, changed the rain, released the pain, least you sane, getting paid, trend setting, brighter days, doper rap, tighter sets, high and deadly, I'm a fighter jet, journey.
All right, welcome everyone. Welcome back to the welcome to, I guess, the rebirth of the 10 Pounds of podcast here on the UWA network. It's been a while since we have done or covered an NWA. I actually have to get one of those shows too. At the NWA, I guess, promotion, and we're gonna kick things off with the NWA 75. What a pay-per-view! It was a 2-night extravaganza. If you missed it, don't worry, we're here to tell you all about it. That being said, flanked by my co-host, Muffins Martinez. How are you, man?
Bro, I am excited. I've been, you know me and the NWA. That was like my heart since I was a kid. I'm so happy for what they did this past weekend. 2 nights of nothing but exciting wrestling. A lot of surprises. A lot of shocking surprises on 9-2. Yeah, man. I always love it when they hit. But NWA 25 did his job, and it's pretty. I'm pretty disappointed that people don't really mess with the NWA how it is now. But there's so many stars of tomorrow, and that company is not funny anymore, bro.
Sorry, Wolf. But to kind of cap, I mean, the roster to me, this was my first NWA pay-per-view that I watched. I've never watched an NWA pay-per-view since they came back. So for my first full NWA event, I was very pleased. There were some matches where I was like, what is this? But for the majority of it, it was really well done. And for it's 10 for a 20 pay-per-view. A 20 match pay-per-view within 2 nights. That's pretty big, pretty big. So I was blown away by what these athletes had to give for night 1 and night 2. Speaking of night 1, we'll cover night 1 first. We kick things off with the NWA Women's Television Championship match. This, to me, this was between the current NWA Women's TV Champion, Kenzie Page, and Max the Impaler with Father James Mitchell.
Yes.
I did not know either of these two.
Oh.
So I will say that I was really impressed with Page in this match. Max the Impaler to me looked a little bit clunky. I really had a hard time really trying to connect with her in this match, but definitely Kenzie Page stood out to me. Unfortunately, Kenzie Page would lose this match to Max the Impaler. But it was very hard.
And lose the TV title to her.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, that too. Realistically, for me, Kenzie Page stole the show with this match, but unfortunately, she really did have to carry Max the Impaler. So, for me, this was an okay opener. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I loved it. I love Max the Impaler. She's from the wasteland, whatever. She's just a beast, a monster. Everything with her is power moves. And Kenzie Page, she's one half of pretty empowered, where her sister and 2 other ladies. So, and I love what they were doing with her. They're trying to build people for the future. And Kenzie Page is definitely one of the young ladies that will definitely surpass that shooting star in the future.
I mean, I will admit the finish to that match was pretty freaking epic. That when she ran off the ropes and got clotheslined out of her body, that was nuts.
Yes.
That was a wicked move from Max the Impaler. Even not only did commentary go holy, but even I went, holy shit, she just killed her, So
there was a lot of holy shit moments in this pay-per-view, bro, for real.
Yeah, I mean, there were just some I kind of winced. I was like, damn. Next up, we had the NWA National Heavyweight Championship. Now, here's something that you're gonna have to teach me on, because there's a lot of you have the National Heavyweight title. I think you have the there was one in here. I'll get to, I know there's another heavyweight title they have, but we'll talk about that later on. So this one was between Odinson Throwbilly, Silas Mason, and Kratos. Now, this was for the vacant. I should put vacant National Heavyweight Championship. To be honest, I did not know any of these three.
Yeah.
And,
I love
who really stood.
I love all three of those. I love all three of them.
See, who really caught my attention was the Odinson dude. Like that dude was just clean, and the way he had to be positioned,
yes,
in some of those spots were just phenomenal. So Odinson to me really stood out as like a highlight here. I think if they're gonna do some more single stuff, I don't know if he's in a tag team. They mentioned he was in a tag team, but if they do more single stuff with Odinson, I'd like to see that on NWA TV. I don't know if he can talk, but as far as wrestling, he definitely has it. So I want to see more with him. Throwbilly, Silas Mason, the Southern Six won my like they really piqued my interest in night one. Throwbilly, Silas Mason was with the Ports, whatever her name was. She got dropped midway in this match.
Pollo del Mar.
Yeah. That was amazing.
Let me rephrase that. The lovely Pollo del Mar. Let me just say that.
Well, she wasn't lovely when she got dropped on her head.
Unfortunately, yeah, that's what happens. So,
I mean, hey, that's one way to get dumped.
Yeah.
The only person here who I didn't really care much.
That title was held by EC3. And it has the same 7 lucky oh god, what's the word I'm looking for? A 7 lucky stipulation. You defend it 7 times, and if you win, you're able to move up to the next level, which is what EC3 did to challenge for the heavyweight title. He gave up that national title, which is the ugliest title I have ever seen. I call it the Pepto-Bismol national title because it just looks like a big pink bottle of Pepto-Bismol. That's what it looks to me. But Odinson is one half of the end tag team. Throwbilly side, like you said, Southern Six, and Kratos. He's been there now for a couple of years now with NWA. But usually wrestles more on New Japan, Strong America side. But Throwbilly side, man, he's definitely reminds me of Bam Bam turned Gordy from the Freebirds because of the hair and the build. And also, just to let you know, they are making a Von Erich movie, and he got cast as Terry Bam Bam Gordy in the movie as one of the fabulous Freebirds.
Oh wow!
Yes, so he's playing the part of Bam Bam Terry Gordy in the movie. Supposedly it's coming out this year, late this year, but I don't know if because of the strikes going on, I don't know if it'll get pushed for next year. But the movie's pretty much done already, so there is on post-production right now.
Well, that's interesting. Yes. So, fun fact for you guys out there.
Yep.
Now, you guys keep calling that belt the Pepto-Bismol belt. I don't see how it's a Pepto-Bismol belt, but
it's pink.
Go for
it. Just this big pink belt with just the things on top of it. It just looks weird, man. It's just, I don't know. Every time I see, I think of Pepto-Bismol because it's pink, like the bottle of Pepto-Bismol.
Maybe I wasn't paying attention because I did not see that thing anywhere. So I don't know where you guys are coming up with this belt from. But
yeah,
the only person who I really wasn't impressed with in this match was Kratos.
Yeah,
like he didn't really to me. He didn't offer anything. Like and it's not saying that like he didn't do anything, but he just didn't. Just looked like a standard big guy, and he was in there with 2 guys who were really just stealing the show. If I didn't say this already, Throwbilly Silas Mason wins the National Heavyweight Championship to bring a title back to the Southern Six.
Yep. Oh, and there's one more thing about Odinson. Odinson is my default player, how I would build a wrestler on any game. That's the way he looks, the physique, the face, the hair. That's how I will build my perfect wrestler. Will be him. Maybe a little bit taller, maybe 6'5", but with the same physique and speed, agility, how he wrestles. That's my default wrestler is Odinson?
Well, that's good to know.
Hey.
All right.
Yeah, if you see Odinson, I mean, you've seen him. That dude is a Greek god, bro. His whole physique, the speed, the agility, everything that he does is smooth in the ring. Like I said, make him 6'5", he'll be that perfect world heavyweight champion that you could push out there.
Don't be the Vince here. If you're not 6'4" or higher, you can't be world champion.
I'm just saying.
Don't pull a Vince.
Hey, Vince proved people right that you need someone that tall to be a champion, not no 6-foot guy or nothing like that. No, I believe in unconvincing in this specific move.
All right, moving on.
Yes.
Joe Alonso versus Homicide, a no DQ match.
Yeah.
Now I did watch NWA Power. Huh?
Didn't care for this.
You know, I watched the match and I'm sold on Joe Alonso. I think the guy knows how to play, being a great heel in general. I think they need to give that guy more TV time, more mic time specifically. He got his ass whooped.
Yeah, he gets the TV time. I never liked him like that though. I thought it was like not a match that should have been on the pay-per-view.
I think so, because that crowd was eating out of the palm of their hands. You know, that match deserved to be on TV for the fact they were able to manipulate that crowd the way they did. So just between the crowd, like the crowd interaction, how that crowd was, I'd say that was the top 3 of matches that had the most pop throughout the night. Like legitimately, I would say that Camille and Marsha are 2.
Yeah, Natalia.
Morton
Oh God,
and
yes.
Carino. Yeah, Morton and Carino were 1.
Yes.
And I would have to say that Alonso versus Homicide was 3.
I'm surprised. I would have had them in the pay-per-view, the hour before.
I think that was. I think Corgan did a great job of putting that match at 3. I think that's exactly what they needed, because you needed something that was going to slow down the pace, and knowing what you put on after it, you had to have that match be strong, and that was a very strong match. I think both guys looked amazing. Homicide, didn't get the win. He got rolled up, but I mean, honestly, that was teaching Joe Alonso a lesson, and I think that was the whole point of the story here. And to me, the match did its job. Joe Alonso gets a victory. It got a A+ for me. So really great match. I had no issues with this match at all. And yeah, I mean, your thoughts?
Yeah, like I said, I wasn't. Like I said, to me, the match should have been done before the pay-per-view. Just like a warm-up, like they do before the show. They had a nice 2-hour, hour-and-a-half thing before the main events. That match to me should have been there, but
it had a lot to do with it had a lot to do with Terry Funk. I think that's why it also went on third too. Because
Homicide, yes, for sure.
Yeah,
Homicide is a Terry Funk student, for sure.
So for me, I mean, it made perfect sense. But the next match we had, this honestly I think was my least favorite match on night 1, and probably my least favorite match on the show. And that's hard, because the women's TV title match is like second. The Brothers of Funstruction versus Magnum Muscle.
I was surprised.
I don't know how.
I like both teams, and I was surprised Magnum Muscle actually lost this match, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know how the hell they lost that.
Yeah,
especially after my biggest problem, I think what bothered me the most was that commentary hyped up Magnum Muscle on commentary during their entrance. So it made you kind of think they were going to win. It's like, all right, this is kind of one of those things to kind of like give them a little bit of a rub on a bigger stage. Maybe they'll push for tag title to win, but at least they'll push for them after this. Like, okay, I see what they're doing here, and then they lose to Fun Instruction, who then will go on to face someone we'll talk about later. This is what really pissed me off, is because it didn't make any sense to me that whole.
I agree.
It doesn't make any
100% with
sense.
you. I agree 1,000% with you.
So
Yes,
I wasn't a fan, to put it lightly, and I'll explain why once we talk about the NWA World Tag Team Title match.
yeah.
So yeah, definitely,
100%. Yes,
definitely. This is the worst match on the card.
yes,
For night 1 and 2.
yes.
Going forward, the NWA World Junior Heavyweight title, which to me was match of the night, if not one of the match of the night candidates. This match to me really was the people's main event of NWA 75 night 1. I have nothing negative to say besides Colby Corino and Kerry Morton are the future of NWA. Yes. And there's just no doubt about that. And this really solidified that. I mean, that crowd was just electric for it. That was so clean. That was so crisp. Taking away heel versus face here for a moment, this was just an overall amazing professional wrestling match. And to me this was a 5-star match to me. So
what's good about this match was his future guys, 2 guys who their fathers were legendary wrestlers in their own right. Steve Corino being Colby's father, and of course Ricky Morton, one half of the Rock and Roll Express, being Kerry's father. So I mean, the lineage in both of those guys, the names their fathers carry to them, perfect. I can't wait till the next generation of Corino and Morton, 30 years from now, and see how they're hauled up. But this was a amazing match on night 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I phenomenal.
And
I love
Corino
that
won.
how this kid had a long title reign. Yeah, Corino won. Won. And I just love the fact that they express like commentary. This was the one time on the show commentary didn't suck for me, and they did a great job storytelling. So whoever the dude was on night 1, something like OD or whatever his name was on commentary, they need to keep him on commentary. That guy was awesome. But I could talk about how great this NWA World Junior Heavyweight title match was all day. I mean, it's just hard to hate on it. It was just perfect.
Oh yeah.
At least for me. So A+ for both of them. Literally like A++ type stuff. The next match didn't really happen. Tim Storm versus Jack Stane. Storm got dropped on his back and couldn't move, and that was that. And Jack Stane won.
This one that was an X type of event. This match should have happened before the pay-per-view again. And if you don't know Tim Storm, don't feel bad, because I didn't either. When they brought back NWA back in 2017, he was the champion of the belt, the 10 pounds of gold, before the NWA came back. So he was defending that title in different countries. I never even heard of that dude until 2017, and then they started doing the weekly NWA shows, and I found out who he was, and I was in awe with him. How he's been carrying the belt for years before the company came back again. So, but this match whatever happened there should have happened before the show.
I mean, I get why it made the card. It shouldn't have been the 6th match on the card, but
either the first,
it
for sure.
wasn't.
Yeah, first for sure.
This one, it's hard to rate this one just because nothing happened. So we're just gonna skip over it. Next was the Birch Invitational, the Gauntlet.
Yes.
I don't know why they let Max the Impaler in here. I don't know why. If she's already that one annoyed me. Other than that, I think that commentary did their due diligence here when Kenzie Page came out, she politicked away with William Patrick Corgan, and Corgan said she can go out there if she enters number 1. Cool. I was fine. I was like, all right, that makes sense to me. Cool. Don't have to think too much about it. You guys already explained a great job. I didn't really care for this.
Well, think about it. Max the Impaler came in because she if she wins, she'll get an automatic shot at the women's championship. So I understand why she was there. The whole Kenzie Page thing.
Yeah, but if she just won,
I didn't get it, and
I know because she just won the TV title.
Yeah, but and Kenzie Page just lost the title, but she's gonna go out there number 1 to run the.
Yeah, but they explained why she was there.
Yes. But I just didn't like that. Like, okay, so you're gonna lose the TV title at the beginning. Now you're gonna go in here to try to get yourself a shot at the women's championship, and she wins the whole damn thing too to get a title shot the following day. I love the match because I love seeing more females come in. I just didn't like how all that transpired. Now that was my gripe.
The person I wanted to win that match was MJ Jenkins, which she didn't.
No,
but
because Kenzie Page won. Page won.
Yeah.
I
was okay with Kenzie Page
because they have different women that you haven't seen in a while, like MJ Jenkins. But I haven't seen that lady in years. I didn't know she was still wrestling, so I was surprised when she was part of out of the Gauntlet Battle Royal, and a lot of other ladies. But a lot of talent got wasted there. Kenzie Page losing match 1, and then coming here and winning the Battle Royal. I was like, oh shit. Here we go.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm gonna counter that argument because the one thing commentary kept poking at throughout night 1 with her was that she was resilient. She was going to take on all challenges. That's exactly what she did. Commentary, in my opinion, did their job with her. Whether you liked it or not, I was okay with her winning it. I didn't think she was going to win it. I thought she'd be like the runner-up, like, oh, look at that, But no, she won it. And you know what? I don't think right now they have anyone on the roster that can pull a pop that she can, besides Camille. So I was okay with. They had to. I think they felt they had to do something here. They had to, if they were going to put Camille in a match again with somebody at night 2, they had to do it against someone who the crowd's going to care about, especially if it's going to co-main event. So, I think that was the right decision to do what they did and have commentary execute the way they did. That's why I have no problem with what happened in this battle royal. To me, story perspective, everything made sense. And from a booking decision, to me, everything made sense because you had to make sure it was against. If you're going to put Camille against MJ Jenkins in the co-main event, I'm just using her as an example. That's not going to be worthy of 30 minutes. There's no build. At least with Kenzie Page, that Camille has faced her on 2 different occasions.
Yes.
So now it's a different Kenzie Page, and they alluded to that on night 2, and we'll talk about that too. So the commentary here really did their job when it came to Kenzie Page the entire time. So that's why I really have zero issues and zero gripes with what happened in the first Invitational Battle Royal. And after. So moving on, it was Matt Cardona versus Ricky Morton. This match was, I think, thrown in there because of what happened to Tim Storm. I really think that's what that was. So I had no issue with it. It was quick and painless. So cool. Matt Cardona would win, beat Ricky Morton. He would try to destroy Ricky Morton. This sets up a match between Kerry Morton, who comes out, and Matt Cardona for night 2. And we get to see a different unhinged side of Kerry Morton. We'll talk about that more on night 2. But so that kind of set up a match for night 2's NWA 75, which I think was a great way to funnel something and make it seem a bit more. There's more build to it and to be more important, especially for Kerry Morton, who just lost the NWA World Junior Heavyweight title. So I was okay with everything that happened in that match. By the way, Matt Cardona won if I didn't say that. Next up is the NWA World Tag Team Championships. Blunt Force Trauma versus the champs La Rebellion. Blunt Force Trauma does win this match. I
didn't get why they won. To be honest,
I didn't get it either. I'm glad we're on the same page. I had had no problem with the match. I don't.
Well, because what happens is
That's really got to say.
the Brothers of Fun Destruction come out, and now they're building a thing with La Rebellion. I would have liked it better if that were for the tag team title coming out. So you're gonna come out.
I think the issue with that.
But I'm saying, but you're gonna come out and against the losers instead of the winners. You know what I'm saying?
They're clowns. What do you think?
Well, because like I said, if you're gonna come out, you want to challenge the winners, which is force trauma, not the team that just lost.
Right, but they're clowns, and again, this is where commentary because Vampiro was there, and apparently Vampiro and Violent J have had some issues in the past.
Oh God, yes.
So it's like an ego battle between managers. I don't know who Violent J is. I could give two shits less.
What? I say Insane Clown Posse? What?
I don't know,
bro.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I'm not afraid of clowns, but I generally despise clowns. I just hate them. Which also might be why I don't like this group, because I just generally was like, oh, this is fucking stupid. Get off my TV screen.
Oh, bro, like the feud they had back in WCW days, where the clowns, Vampiro against.
I hate clowns. God, I hate clowns.
No, that was beautiful back then. Anyways, what's next? What's next from night one?
The main event. Yeah.
Okay.
The main event. So the NWA Women's World Championship. Camille takes on Natalia Markova in a no disqualification match.
Bro,
and you know what?
Crazy. That match was crazy.
It was, and it wasn't even my favorite match, which is wild. It was a good match. It was a good match. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
They were hard hitting each other hard.
Yeah, the spear through the table. Well, sorry.
Yes.
So Markova was set up on the apron.
Yes.
And Camille speared her in between the ropes type of thing, and they landed on the outside. It was nasty. That was a very nasty.
You know how many times you've seen that same spot in other companies, and they always either miss or they overshot the table or they go on the side of it. But this one was like perfectly boom, boom, right, just perfect. All that, wow, that was my only shit of the night right there when I saw that. And when they're in the ring and she hits it with the keyboards in the back of their head, and you hear that, that was a hard hitting match. That was a hard hitting match. And how Nakoba didn't win that match after that abuse, I was like, wow.
Well, by the way, Camille wins, as you just said. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, man. That
was honestly, I have no issue with this match. The match was great. If you haven't seen it, watch it. I guess we're going to night two. I mean, what are your overall thoughts on night one?
Night one was a nice nice pay-per-view to start off the night for NWA 75. Like I said, I didn't like Kenzie Page coming back to the Battle Royal and winning that. I didn't like the Tim Storm Jax. That should have been before. The Joe Alonso homicide should have been before the show. So those are my iffy things. But other than that, it was an overall awesome night one. And to know there was a night two coming the following night, dude, that was just like, wow, let's keep it going. So. Yeah.
So for me overall, I think night one was great. I think so. Besides the impromptu stoppage match and the stupid 2 tag team matches, everything else was fine for me. So yeah, I mean, when 7 of your 10 matches are hits, that's a good show.
I would have given it 6.5 out of 10.
I give it a 7. I give it a 7.5. So 7.5 out of 10. If I had to give it overall, I'd say it was probably a 4. It's probably a 4 out of 5. Night one for me.
I would have gone 3.5 out of 5. But yeah.
Now I think maybe I'm a bit lenient here because what you normally get that that carries up a lot of what NWA doesn't have is presentation.
No.
So normally, the presentation kind of carries certain aspects. So when the wrestling has to carry the aspect, I'm a little bit more lean because there really is no presentation. There's no fancy title card when the title shows up on the screen that we're all accustomed to. There's not no cool and fancy underneath nameplate for the wrestler when they come out. There's no pyro. There's no Titantrons in the back. So it's a very different feel. It's a very different aesthetic, and for someone who's used to that, I think my grading is a little bit more lean just because it really relies on the wrestling and the storytelling. It's very older, and so me being someone who likes that type of stuff in terms of the wrestling storytelling aspect, I think I'm a little bit more lenient towards just because the presentation, they have no presentation to hold up where the wrestling fails, So for me, and this is my first pay-per-view with them, it's definitely night one was definitely a 4 out of 5 for me.
All right, so now let's go to night 2.
But
yeah, the appetizer.
They started off something like that. Night 2 started off with the NWA World Television title, Christi Jaynes versus Tom Latimer. It was an okay match. It was kind of like the opener for the NWA Women's TV title on night 1. It was okay. It was appropriate to get the crowd kind of going. It wasn't nothing special. There's a good story behind it. It was cool. Tom Latimer won. He can now put that title up for the 7 or whatever. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it was just like you said, night 1, same thing, and nice opener to get the crowd going. And I think, like you said, that was his 7th win, so he might be able to put it up for the next title shot for the national title. So we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to find anything to say about that match, and there's nothing. It's just like a typical wrestling match, really.
It was pretty forward.
The next match is going to be for the NWA World Women's Tag Team Championships. Pretty Empowered versus M95 or 94, whichever one it was. And this was a good match. I mean, it was good. I
was surprised Pretty Empowered won, to be honest with you.
I wasn't. When they won, it kind of told me what was going to happen later on. So I was like, okay, now I know the direction here. So I think this had a great foreshadowing of the events to unfold later on in the night. But I like this match. It was to me it was kind of like the national the World TV title match. It was good, but there was nothing that really stood out to me. It was a nice title change. I think that really got the crowd going. It was okay. It was okay. It was good.
And then also that's one of the girls is Kenzie's sister, little younger sister. I think she's like 18 or 19, teaming with Ella Envy, and they were the ones who won the tag team title. So, so I like that whole Pretty Empowered. When they brought the new sister, the little sister in, and they have the other chick that was in there. What was her name? Oh God, I went blank on her name. But she wasn't there. I was surprised because it's 4 girls, and she wasn't there night 1 or night 2. So I hope she's still around.
Didn't schedule her if she wasn't going to wrestle.
Yeah, but it would have been nice her to be like as a manager or be there, in the ring. Anyways, comes out with the group because she's part of the group. But yeah. Oh, I forgot her name too.
I definitely see.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was surprised they won, to be honest with you. Yeah.
So this next match to me was the match of the night for night 2. It's going to be for the NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship. Colby Corino takes on Jack Cartwheel.
Yes.
And I loved this match. I loved it. I mean, to see how Colby Corino adjusted his style of wrestling to Jack Cartwheel's style of wrestling was incredible, especially after what we seen on night 1. It really made me, even more sold on Colby Corino. that his style of wrestling is so adaptable to have to deal with that type of high flyer, whereas Kerry Morton was more grounded, more technical. To see a wrestler that can adjust their style so well and be so fluid with another type of wrestler style, and it's completely not the same. That was really, really cool. Colby Corino wins this match, but really the star of this match was not Colby Corino. It was Jack Cartwheel or Jay Cartwheel.
Yes.
That the NWA would be smart to bring him back.
Yes.
I mean, he had the crowd popping at all times.
Yeah, like I said,
to have
I know from Championship Wrestling from Hollywood for the last year, and he's big time in Mexico. And like we said before the show started, how he's not signed to another company, a little bigger is beyond me. So
NWA needs to capitalize on that. I think that is such an amazing wrestler right there, and the fact that it can get a crowd going like that, and he didn't have to do all the flips that he did just to pop the crowd, and it wasn't unnecessary either. Like a lot of his flips were to get out of maneuvers. It wasn't like he was flipping. So and I think that really is what sold it for me. It wasn't just flippy crap all over the place. It was different.
Imagine him in the Impact as a X Division wrestler.
Oh God, yeah.
That would be crazy. Trying see him in one of those wire matches for the X, and see him go off all those things there. Yeah, I think that dude will just be flipping on top of the damn cords.
I wouldn't be surprised. Again, another phenomenal match, and it's hard to that. It's funny how the NWA World Junior Heavyweight titles for me are the two best matches on the card entirely. They're 1 and 2 for me.
Yeah, you always want your undercard to be that exciting. So yeah,
this to me again, this was the people's main event. Actually, no, yeah, I'd say that. Yeah, I'd say that. I'd absolutely say that. What followed this was the NWA World Women's TV Championship, Ruthie J versus Maxine Impaler. I didn't give two damns about this match. Maxine Impaler won though.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
I did not care for it. Yeah. I like that Ruthie J got a one-on-one match. Yeah. Got some exposure on the show, but that's about it.
The next match I also didn't give two damns about. Brothers of Construction versus La Rebellion. Obviously, La Rebellion won. Your thoughts?
I would have loved it if it was for the tag team titles, but it is what it is.
So, I think we're both on the same page. Shit.
Yeah.
The next match. This was good to me. Matt Cardona versus Kerry Morton. And the fact that Kerry Morton won, I'm so surprised with. But before this, there was a promo. It was a promo. And what we got to see was heel Kerry Morton, if he wasn't already a heel before. This is the kid who's really trying to break out of being like just a Morton. And you can tell, and commentary did such a great job explaining that. He's had so much patience being here because of his last name. You can clearly tell he's over it. He's just trying to do his own thing. And having the whole Southern Six all kind of be assholes too, I think really works in his favor. And being this cocky, just completely unhinged Kerry Morton, who he can clearly talk on a microphone. He definitely has some work that needs to be done, and he'll definitely improve over time if they keep letting him, talk. But if this guy's already trying to claim himself as the face of NWA and trying to claim himself as the uncrowned heavyweight champion of the world, and beating a former NWA heavyweight champion, whether you like Matt Cardona or not, he's a former NWA heavyweight champion. This is big. This was a huge win for Kerry Morton, and the match was great. And the fact that he made Matt Cardona a face in this match, someone who's hated everywhere, and they were booing the shit out of him, that was an amazing pop for him. And they were booing the hell out of him. And he made Matt Cardona, out of all people, look fucking interesting and look fucking cheerable. And again, commentary here did a great job of trying to cheer on Matt Cardona. And they constantly were like, I can't believe I'm actually cheering for this asshole. So what Kerry, I said, I'm completely sold on Kerry Morton.
Like you said, Matt Cardona was a prior NWA champion. Just to say, he never lost the title either. He had a torn bicep when he won and then had to relinquish the title. So he still hasn't had a to go back for a shot at the title. So, and Kerry Martin being the heel is surprising because his father being Rock'n'Roll Express that have always been fan favorites for 20, 30 years of their lives, and now seeing his kid being the opposite is gold to me. I love it.
I think this really plays into amazing storytelling, and commentary really helped out establish this. They planted the seeds for the storyline to come for later on, and Matt Cardona really put over this kid. So yeah, it was. I really liked this match. Your opinion?
Yeah, and we'll see Cardona twice. We'll see him last week, and then we'll see him this upcoming Sunday coming up at MLW. So he'll be in two different pay-per-views in back-to-back weeks.
I mean, yeah, I really enjoyed this match. So props to both guys. Next one, the NWA National Heavyweight Championship, Jordan Clearwater versus Silas Mason. This match was fucking awesome.
I love Jordan Clearwater.
I really thought Silas Mason was gonna. I thought Mason was gonna drop it here. I was like, wow, he's gonna have less than a day reign, and holy hell, was it just an amazing. That right there was hard hitting. It was back and forth, and the crowd loved it, and I can't complain about it. I mean, that to me was awesome.
Another championship wrestling from Hollywood star, Jordan Clearwater. That's where I know him from, and I've seen his growth to what he is now. I love that dude, man. I can't wait till somebody, some company bigger gives him a shot, because I mean he could be that star coming up. He's still in his early 20s at that. So,
man, when I tell you that match was great. And honestly, the later end matches really picked up for the meh beginning, to the show. So, but this was really, really good. I liked the match that happened. They gave him plenty of TV time. It was great for me.
Yes.
Next up was the NWA World Tag Team Championship match. Blunt Force Trauma, the champs, taking on Murdoch and Knox. The highlight of this was Aaron Stevens clocking this dude in the face with a loaded glove. Yeah. Blunt Force Trauma wins, by the way.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the tag team match. It was decent for what it was. I think they need to take off the mask of Blunt Force Trauma.
Well, you know who they are. I mean, you don't even have to know who they are, because you already know who they are.
I know one of them is Marshall Rocket. I don't know who the other guy is.
Yeah, and the other guy is Rodney Mack.
Wow.
Yeah, the husband of oh God, what's her name? WWE superstar and Hall of Famer at that. She's a black, bald-headed.
Jazz?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
The co-main event, folks, for the NWA Women's World Championship match, Camille versus Kenzie Page. What a match.
The shocker of the night for me. Shocker of the night for me. Did not see that coming. Never saw that coming. Not to her anyway.
I didn't see it coming, but I had like a slight inkling. Inkling once Pretty Empowered won those tag team titles. I had a slight inkling, but I still didn't see it coming. When she undid the turnbuckle and Camille didn't pay attention, but you know what it was? They commentated such a great job. They played off, she's already hurt, her arm is messed up, and they played to that. And so this was an amazing 30-minute match for what it was. And when she speared the turnbuckle, Kenzie hit the Kenzie cutter, and that 1-2-3 hit. That was awesome. And that was what a fucking match. What a match. It's still to me.
Shocker.
Now here's my thing. The reason why I didn't say this was the people's main event for night 2 is because that crowd, in my opinion, only really popped because it was a shocker. Because it was Camille's title reign. I don't think it would have popped if Camille didn't have that illustrious title reign. I don't think it would have. Not taking anything away from Kenzie Page or Camille, but it was the shock and then the cutter, and just how flawless it was. People thought Camille was going to kick out. And so when she didn't, it was like, oh my God. Now, on a side note, Camille is no longer with NWA. I don't believe. I think she's going on to like Impact or MLW or MLW
I have
or
no
whatever.
idea. Yeah, she mentioned something.
I know
She wrote one of those poems that they write on their Twitters or whatever, letting them know that that might be something somewhere else in the future. I just didn't see her losing that belt to Kenzie Page. I thought she would lose to somebody, a bigger name, someone outside of the company.
Here's my thing.
Even Friday night against Markova, I thought she would have lost it to her and not to Kenzie Page. But
so here's my thing with that.
Almost 3 years as the champion.
I think this was the right call because you wanted to give it someone young. The crowd is clearly behind Kenzie Page. She can handle herself on a microphone. It's the sass that kind of gets her going, and the attitude of I may be small, but I'm still kick your ass. You need that as a champion. It's very gritty, and I think that's what the NWA really stands for: is gritty champions. So, I think this was a match made in heaven for the NWA. It's someone who they developed and they tried to put and they worked on, and that was the perfect time. It was on a big stage where no one thought she had a chance, and she just showed that she can be a giant killer, which was what she did. She came up short against the Impaler on night one, but she was able to go against the odds on night one and then in the Invitational, survive all the heavy hitters like Allison Kay and them. And then she pulls off the shock of the century in night two and becomes the new NWA Women's World Champion. So for it was perfect. The commentary was perfect on this one. Everything about it was great. And it was so flawless. And that, to me, was the most important thing. They didn't botch the little spear into the exposed turnbuckle. Nothing was botched. It was great. So well done on NWA's part for calling that and making that decision. Well done on both those competitors. That was a great match. And to me, this was the second best match of the night.
And the funny thing is, you watch, WWE and AEW, and you watch a lot of the female matches, and there's so many botches in those matches. And you're like, wow, man, this is big. And then you watch companies like Impact and then NWA having this type of matches, lesser known names, and they just give you this flawless dance of a match. And you go like, wow, this was amazing. 15, 20 minutes, 25 minutes or whatever, how long it was, of nothing but a perfect match. And you kind of you think to yourself like, damn, man, like, why can't we get this type of action from the two giants? And you kind of wonder like, wow, man, there's other stuff out there other than those two giants. Open your eyes and watch what's going on everywhere else, because you blink and you miss a 5 classic star match because people don't give it a chance. So, but like you said, this will be my shocker of 2023. At the end of the year, this will be my match. What was the shocker of the year? Kenzie Page defeating Camille on night 2. That's going to be my shocker for the rest of the. I don't think anything else will shock me, because now we're hitting September already on Friday, so the year is almost up. So this will be my shocker of this year. Will be that.
Absolutely,
hands down.
And then the main event.
Yes, finally.
The NWA World Heavyweight Championship.
Finally.
Tyrus versus EC3, and this match to me was absolute dog shit.
Finally. Tyrus lost. That's all I care about. The last couple of champions that NWA has had, I've hated. Trevor Murdoch, a poor version of Dusty Rhodes, and then this dude. 50 years old of just I don't know. I hated those guys as being champions. But you pay your dues, you get rewarded. I'm pretty sure that's why they got rewarded for those title runs. But this was stipulation was if Tyrus lost, he retires. Thank God. EC3 lost so much steam that you don't even know who EC3 is anymore. When he was in Impact and went back to WWE, and then he lost steam from there, went back to Impact. was nothing. Went to Ring of Honor. People forgot about him. They started that control you narrative. Didn't go anywhere because then Braun Strowman went back to Uncle Vince's company. So EC3's name has been down on the gutter for years. That like this title change doesn't even matter. Like who cares? Like he won. Like whatever.
Well, here's my
Like,
thing.
We won it all
Realistically, right?
titles.
Yeah, but here's my thing. Right now, this could be a fresh start for NWA. EC3 should not hold the title for long, and I do mean that. He should not be champion going into NWA 76. And I'll say that. But if you want to try to help build, right now NWA needs to help build themselves back up. Because with Murdoch killing their thing, with Tyrus destroying it, that title does not mean much.
No.
And it's showcased. Right now, in my opinion, their most important title is their NWA Junior Heavyweight title.
And to say that, that's not even funny because that is true.
Because in this division, and for me being introduced to these new people, those two matches to me were the best matches on the card. And then next, it was the NWA World Women's Championship matches.
Yeah, so it's crazy to say the junior heavyweights and the women's are your two best divisions right now in your company. Nothing having to do with the heavyweights or the NWA title, but your junior heavyweight and the women's divisions are your two best things going on in your company. That's crazy to say something
but
like
I will
that.
say this now. Yeah, it is, absolutely. But you know what? I will say this. Now with EC3 having the belt, now they can actually do some stuff.
Now, let me ask you a question.
There's not like a limit on EC3.
Now, let me ask you a question. Who do you think out of who's there now will beat EC3 maybe by before the end of the year or at the January pay-per-view when they have their next big
Kerry
show?
Morton.
Kerry? Really?
Kerry Morton. Yeah.
I
think so.
was
Right now, you don't have this kid trying to call himself the uncrowned world champion. You don't let him beat a guy like Matt Cardona if you want to keep him in the junior heavyweight division. And if they're smart, they wait a year. They let him do that 7 title thing. Let him go through that. Have him beat some notable names on the way. Cash it in and challenge it at NWA 76. And if you really want to say we're in a new era, an era they want to call this the lightning era, that's fine. You want to lightning up your ass, you put it on someone young. You put it on someone right now. That Southern Justice group has so much goddamn potential. And I can't be dealing with to see that.
I was gonna say Thrillbilly Silas could be the guy to defeat EC3 maybe in the next 3 months.
No, I think I like that guy, but he needs to stay there. He needs to build that division. That's a guy who can build that goddamn division, and he needs to be that guy. I like him, I really do, but he needs to. If you want someone to build that division, and possibly keep that belt, after what is it? That's one with 7, right?
Yeah. They do the 7 with that one too.
Yeah. Definitely have him do the 7, have him cash it in, or I'd probably just have him hold it for a little while. They don't have to cash it in, right?
No, they don't have to, but pretty much, after 7 is up to you. I've never seen anyone not say, well, I'm going to keep this title and keep going. Pretty much every company you've seen, they give you the option C and you'll go to the next thing. So
what I would like is for him to be different. And that's really how you establish a title, because that title is very transitional.
Yeah, there was one title that got changed, but it never happened on the show. It happened at the pre-shows. And I was surprised. It was the Country Gentlemen with the U.S. title, the tag team titles. They lost their titles, and I thought those guys are perfect to maybe in the future join the Southern Six, because they're also from the South, cowboy image and stuff like that. They could be the tag team of that crew of the Southern Six is get the Country Gentlemen into that crew. maybe in the future. But yeah, they lost their U.S. titles, and I can't remember to who they lost them, but I was surprised they lost the titles, period. And they'll be perfect members.
So overall, for me...
night 2, I will give it I will go as high as an 8.5 on night 2. Better than 9-1.
I'm a bit different because honestly, to be honest with you, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of it. Okay. I'm gonna give this a 6.5 out of 10. Okay. Because unlike night one I was more happier with than night 2. Because realistically, I didn't care for the World Heavyweight title match. I didn't care for the NWA World Tag Team title match. I didn't care for the Funstruction versus Rebellion. I didn't care for the Women's TV title. I didn't care for the NWA World TV Championship match. I didn't really care for the NWA Women's World Tag Team match. So realistically, that's 7 of the 10 for me. And the reason why I gave it a 6, a 6.5, is because 3 matches were phenomenal. And if those matches weren't as amazing as they were, it would probably be like a 4.
No,
to me, night 1 was just hands down way better.
So I gave 9-1 7.5, right? If I remember. Okay, so I'm going to go back because you went back and you told me 9-2. I'm going to revert. I'm going to give 9-2 6 out of 10.
That's fair. I think for me,
and I was like, okay, that makes sense. But I did love the tag team women's title, and of course, Tyra's losing. That was my capper of the night, and the junior heavyweight match, of course, and Casey Page beating Camille. I'm gonna keep saying this to the other year, a shocker of the year for me.
No, right, and that's what I'm saying. The Silas Mason match with Jordan Clearwater was it. Yes. Camille versus Kenzie Page was it, and then for me, Carino versus Cartwheel, and those were the 3 to me that were amazing. That really carried night 2, in my opinion. So I think overall, I'd have to give it. It's going to drop the whole star. It's going to be 3 out of 5 for me.
Yeah, to me, I'll be the same 3 out of 5, but 6 out of 10 for night 2, 7.5 for night 1. And if you watch NWA on Tuesdays on YouTube or Fight, they gave 3 matches from night 1 on their show. So if you miss some matches, they gave some of those on the show. So for the Tuesday show. And hopefully, if they do the same thing next week, they might give the Camille match for the title, and then you will see why we're craving about the Camille, both of those matches.
Yeah, and it was awesome. I said it was a solid pay-per-view, and for my first time watching NWA, all that I'm looking forward to Power. Yeah. And with that being said. Or do you have anything?
Yeah, don't forget to follow us on Urban Wrestling Network, YouTube, Urban Wrestling Network, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, so the same Urban Wrestling Network. We're there. Please follow us. We appreciate anybody who follows. We interact with everybody on Twitter or any page. So if you want to talk to us, talk to us.
All right, yep. And for the host with the most, ladies and gentlemen, we're out of here. Peace out, everybody.
Deuces.